y'all, I'm Steve with Elev8, and we have a really awesome Elev8 tonight here with Dellene Peralta. Man, super awesome girl. The work she does is fire. These shoes are crazy. I got one myself. It's just super awesome. So I'm really excited for this to come up. Really quickly, I need your help. We have a really neat Elev8 ambassador program there. Check it out. If you're a lady, you can join our Elev8 dolls. Men, you can join our Elev8 gents, and it's a really cool way to earn credits and help get our brand out there. Also, we have Elev8 Veterans. It's a super cool thing that we're doing. It's our 501c3 where we get veterans some Elev8 premier glassblowing classes, as well as we get them some alternative therapies. Anyways, let's roll into this Elev8 and hang out with Dellene. All right, we got Elev8 today here with Dellene Peralta, and thank you so much for joining us. It's a freaking honor.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So my first question is, how did you get into this glass blowing craziness? Because you got to be a little crazy to get into this.
Well, when I was young and crazy, I moved to Eugene, Oregon,
The Mecca.
yeah, and this was in '95. I moved here, and I met some glass blowers, and then I eventually met Clinton Roman that next year, and we hit it off really well. And I ended up living with him, and he taught me how to make old school gold and silver pipes.
Mm-hmm. And that was pretty much all that was around. I mean, in '95.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. There was like 7 colors from North Star. or at least the ones that you could use. Maybe they had like 13, but you could only
Yeah, unless you just wanted your time to just keep vanishing, you knew to stay away from.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. So yeah, so that's how I got started with him. We lived way out in outside of Philomath, Oregon, by Mary's Peak, with no electricity in this really cool cabin house, and we blew glass with a generator.
So I'm going to assume there probably wasn't a whole lot of annealing back then. Also assuming you're mostly clear.
No, he had a kiln.
Oh,
he had made his own kiln with flip doors. I still, to this day, I'm not sure where he initiated the design. That's probably something you would have to ask him. Marcel claims it was some other dude that came up with the flip doors. But nonetheless, we ended up building 10 kilns where I taught Marcel how to build kilns back then, because he had bought one of them. Yeah, because we made 10 kilns and then sold them to 10 different glass blowers, because AIM Kiln didn't have flip doors at the time.
Right.
And they were in Corvallis.
Man, that's so crazy to hear that. Like, I had no clue how that, like, it's just so neat talking with all you blowers and everything, and seeing how the history came up. And kilns didn't even have flip doors on them until blowers were like, God damn it, I'm making it myself.
People had like electric walks with vermiculite in them to anneal their glass somewhat, I guess. Yeah, pretty funny.
Wow, that's so crazy. And what attracted you to the glass? Were you already an artist? Were you like?
I was. I had gone. I'm from Albuquerque, New Mexico. That's where I grew up. But so I was going to the University of New Mexico for just basic art and photography. Didn't really know what medium I liked, but I knew I wanted to be in that field, art field. So, I was always really crafty and made jewelry and sold jewelry and good stuff like that.
Yeah.
Painted. And so when I moved here, I saw people making pipes, and I was already trying to make pipes before I moved here out of wood, like carving them and stuff. Because I was a stoner. I still am a stoner.
So it was perfect though. It was a perfect like.
It was perfect. So when I saw this guy trying to make pipes, and I was watching him, and I was like, man, you're doing it wrong. I just like knew right away. I was like, that's not the way to do it. I had no idea really. I don't know. Maybe it's just common sense, some of it, but so yeah, I definitely was interested, but I was, a young kid. So it was nice that Clinton took me under his wing like that and helped me get started.
Right. Wow,
Yeah.
that's so crazy. So while you started, it sounds like Clinton was potentially your mentor. Did you have him as and others as a mentor too?
Yeah, like Eric Krunk.
Okay.
His teacher. But really he had learned from Red, who's Eric Krunk's baby mama's brother, Red, and Road Dog, who's my baby daddy. I know it's confusing. But he learned from them because Eric was a mess back then. Even though very talented, still is very talented. He was kind of spun and stuff, and they just had True. So I don't know. Clinton learned a lot more from the other boys than he did, but Eric would come visit us, and so like he taught us together how to do Inside Out. I was like 6 months or something into blowing glass.
That had to have been cool. I mean, when you first learn Inside Out, and before you knew how it's done, it's like, how did you get the color in there?
Oh yeah, we were so in the woods most of the time that like we rarely saw other people's glass. We would come to Eugene, to Saturday Market to sell stuff and buy weed.
Wow.
But I didn't, so I wasn't that influenced with other people's stuff. There was like Smiley Face Jason was one friend that we hung out with a lot. And then of course all the Corvallis guys that would come and hang out with us, but they were still like, Jason was pretty decent, Jason Lee, but I saw his first shop and he had this little tiny studio apartment, a plastic fan in the window and a drawer full of vermiculite.
Wow.
I remember I had to like lay down in the apartment because like it was so toxic, the fumes there. It's like real air. But Jason and then Chris Dawson had moved to Corvallis, who started in around 94 in Eugene, and then there was Ezra,
Wow.
and of course Marcel and Ham, we're all there. So they would come hang out with us a lot, and they bought those kilns, and
right,
they would learn stuff. We would share stuff all together.
It was a very small knit community back then. Not a lot of people doing it.
It was
no YouTube.
There no internet. Mm-hmm. There was a lot. There was a lot of people though blowing glass. You'd be surprised.
Oh wow!
Eugene is still relatively small, but like Lane County and surrounding areas back then, there were just a lot of people who would get welding torches and stuff like that and try to tinker. So you would tell somebody like, oh yeah, I blow glass, I make pipes. They'd be like, oh, my brother's cousin's brother blows glass, like, so there's a lot of people trying to do it. There's only few circles that were doing well at it. Right. So Snodgrass, and all his like apprentices were doing well. And then like our little crew, of crazy nutbags. We're all doing really well, so but yeah, it wasn't like it is now,
Right, right.
for sure.
But much more intimate back then, and you had to be a people person because you had to meet people and do it in person. So that
Right.
times have changed. Um,
Yeah.
so I guess have you taken any classes throughout your career, or have you just been pretty much to
Um,
just work with people because you've been at the beginning?
yeah, I mean, I've worked with people. I worked by myself for a long time because I just worked at home. I had a young child, so it's just easier to do that. Um, and I'd get people, come visit, or I'd get to like go out. I taught classes a lot.
Do you
So I
find that helped you grow your skill set by teaching classes as
yeah,
well?
it did, because everybody has something to offer, as much as they're wanting to learn what you're doing. So everybody has something to offer you, knowledge wise. So to say that you're self-taught is kind of baloney, because you're inspired by so many things, and
And even if you're self-taught, you probably got it from a book, or like, we all need help.
yeah, we all need help. We do, isn't it? It's true. So yeah, so I've definitely, been influenced by a lot of people. I've only paid for one class ever, which is lame. I wish I could take more advantage of that, because people should take advantage of paying to take classes. But I took a class from Lucho Bubaco.
Oh, wow. That's a
Yeah,
big name.
yeah, he was fun. He ended up being a lot of fun, and took me to dinner. He's a ladies man. So
Do you feel
but
that really helped your skill set like exponentially by taking one of those classes as
well,
well? Or?
it helped me understand soft glass a little better, because I never, used it. So it was just strictly boro
Mhm.
person. So using the soft glass would help me with other things, and I kind of correlated those back into boro. Then
Yeah.
of course the human sculpture was really what I was wanting to take the class in with him, because he's phenomenal human sculpturist. So
And speaking of sculptures, like everything you do is sculptured and out of control, whether it's a little pendant or your famous stilettos, your
hey,
shoes, like
yeah,
holy camoles, I've seen them in person, and the cleanliness, just the design and how you can get all that to flow. So it's unfreaking believable work. It's
thanks.
yeah, like, so how did you get into even doing those shoes? Like, how did
Uh,
that happen?
well, I've always kind of liked shoes. Um, my sister was a crazy vintage clothing hoarder, collector. And at one point, she had like 250 pairs of vintage high heel shoes. But I would make like little pendants in the 90s for like my sister friends. When I was a little girl, I actually had a little glass Cinderella slipper shoe. I'm not sure if
Really?
it came from Disney or if it was like an Avon thing. I don't know. It was like pretty little.
Right.
So I was always inspired by that. So I always wanted, so I was making the little pendants, uh, and then I was making a bunch of production for Chameleon in the early 2000s. And he's like, "Hey, will you make us a shoe, Cinderella shoe?" And I was like, "Yeah." It's funny because I was already thinking about it, but I hadn't made it. And so I started making these, super production, just clear fumed silver, little shitty dichro bow on a run. $22.50 to a distributor. So that was like the start of that. And then it progressed into the rig later when people started dabbing more. So, and I went through a bunch of different styles, and some of them didn't work very well. And so I just stick to this one style that I make now because it works really well.
Yeah.
And I don't want to like try to invent something else because it's wasting. I don't have time, so I've got a style that works well, so I can just, manipulate the color and sculptures on it or whatever. So,
and I think that's a valid point there is, you see a lot of these artists that they find a certain like thing for them. And it's not because they don't want to keep growing. It's because the learning of a new style or a new rig to just put together, it's a massive amount. So to focus and refine and then bring in other prep techniques into it and keep refining that.
Right.
I think you've been nailing it. And
oh, thanks.
Yeah. Because those shoes are crazy.
I've definitely made some questionable pieces, a lot of people have, and that's okay. It's part of learning, is making mistakes and doing better.
And seeing the mistakes and learning from them and trying to grow from them.
Right.
So I see a lot now. You're doing a lot of mushrooms and stuff in pendants. And like I'm blown away by that because I look at it and I'm like, that can't be freaking glass in there. But
it's not.
How are you?
Real.
They are real.
It is real, yeah. But the pendant itself is glass, and I make a little arrangement and I fill it with resin.
Okay. And then it looks all glass.
It's all real flowers and mushrooms.
It is so amazing.
Put crystals in them and stuff. It's fun. I'm totally having fun with it because it's just something different. You get tired of making the same stuff, and I'm sure I'll get tired of doing this at some point.
And you're an artist, so you're always expanding and trying to find something new and putting in. You're still doing glass, and you're doing a whole nother thing, and it's just bringing two worlds together that never existed before.
Yeah, no, it has. People have been putting like buds in resin and pendants for a long time. I think Bucho maybe was the first guy to do that. And I don't know. So people have been doing it. So it's not like new. I guess maybe I have a new flair to it.
Okay, yeah.
Different styles of pendants. So.
Well, it's just so crazy with the flowers and the crystals and then the mushroom in there and then the artwork around it too.
Thanks.
It's a grand slam little project there. I love them.
Thank you. Thanks.
Where do you get your inspiration and creativity from for your artwork?
The woods. No, I mean,
and
really
your sister.
Generally just things in life and people and experiences and nature, especially. So just kind of feel things out, like look at things. Oh, I like that. That's cool. Like, think about how it can be a pipe or something. How can you smoke out of that?
So you're constantly creating, inventing, trying to find stuff, and what's the next?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say constantly, but not as much as when I was younger. I think I was definitely way more into doing like new stuff all the time, and now I'm just slowed down, and I had a kid again, so I only work a couple weeks out of the month.
Right.
So that's a big, thing for me. I don't work as much right now. When he starts school, I'll probably, be back in the full-time mode, which is nice. It's nice to just take a step back from things for a minute and relax and see your whole full view of things and be inspired again.
It's kind of like the ebb and the flow, and you get to recharge and keep it fresh.
Yeah.
Have you had times in your career where you've made like a big change, where you went from just fuming pipes to, I guess now, just maybe, I'm not saying just jewelry, but you're doing jewelry.
No, for sure. Like 98, went, from old school pipes with little bits of color and like Millie. I made Millies back then too. But then I went from using absolutely no tubing, like very little tubing, and it was just solid color and all coil potted and reversals. Yeah.
Wow.
I lived in a bread truck.
Really?
And we didn't have much room for stuff. So we just kept, small bits of rods and, blow tubes and some tubing, but it was mostly color. We would just buy tons of color and just coil pot color and make cane and do stuff like that. So that was fun. That was a step away from the fuming,
Right.
Yeah.
What's the most like time you've ever put into a piece or a project?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I've definitely put some time into some things. Say one of the ones that we spent a lot of time on, and there was a lot of people working on it. We made a plasma rocket pipe thing. It wasn't even a pipe. The pipe was inside. You had to take the whole thing apart to get the pipe out. We ended up sending that over to Amsterdam.
Oh, wow.
And that took a while because there was a lot of trial and errors with the plasma. And then every time we'd get it to where we want it, something would happen and we'd break the fill tube off. Marcel would break the fill. It was just like one of those things. So, and then there was a lot of we built this lattice work and this stuff. So that took a while, even though there was, many people working on it.
Right. Probably a lot of learning curves, it sounds like, learning the plasma, how to vacuum maybe. And
yeah, I mean, we were already doing that. It's just filling bigger. It was a big tube. It's like a 4-foot tube.
Holy.
And shaping it. Just it was a lot of learning and pushing ourselves to do something different.
Right.
So that was really fun. As far as like stuff by myself, I don't know. I would say like a couple weeks or something.
Wow, that's a long time to put into a project.
Yeah.
Even, I mean, on anything, by yourself, with people, or anything.
Yeah.
In glass, that's a lot to do, because it can break and stuff, and there's so many variables,
all these little parts, and it is.
And that piece came out for you then?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It did. I know. I'm sorry I didn't send you pictures.
We'll be scouring your Instagram and filling it up over my face throughout this whole thing. So it'll be great. What's your favorite color to work with?
Well, I love purple. So I like all the new purple stuff that North Star's put out.
Finally, purple is here.
Of course, I like the Molten Aura stuff too. I mean, I really like the transparent colors.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just, if they're smooth and air free, I really enjoy parrotsy of
So
stuff.
you're old school where you want no bubbles in the color still.
Yeah.
Don't you love it? You get a color, you're like,
It
it's all
took a
air
long
bubbles.
time. I mean, China nailed it pretty quickly. It's funny.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they try to sell you. It's just air bubbles. It's like, but we've been wanting no air bubbles, and we were
I
told you
know.
can't have air bubbles. And
Yeah. I put them there on purpose.
yeah.
That's what I tell people.
Have you ever competed in any events before?
Yes, a lot of them.
Do you enjoy them?
I used to. Do I want to do one today? No, I don't. I don't. I got talked into doing one this summer. And of course, my teammate didn't even pull off what he was doing, but it's okay. It's all right. It was fun, no big deal. But I did win first flame off.
Nice.
But Lewis Wilson put it on at his best bead show, but there was no pipes. It was all sculpture stuff. So it was all the big dogs were there, like Mylon and Bill Rasmussen and Roger Paramore, and they're all, in it.
And you beat him.
Mr. Big Dog. I beat him.
Girl power. I love it.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Smack those old school guys around. And
Yeah.
that had to have felt like you had to have felt like a superstar queen of the world at the time.
I didn't even know. Like, I really didn't expect to win. It was pretty shocking, honestly. I was like, whoa, what the heck's going on? And I remember Mylon got mad and he broke his sculpture. It was pretty funny, honestly, like, but I met a lot of good people that year. They're still my friends to this day. So it's pretty fun. But after that, I've been in a lot of them. I used to do the one at the Eugene Glass School a lot. So I won various ones of those and competed at the champs things.
Mhm.
And pipe classic things and what other ones there were.
Do you still go to the events now just to enjoy and support?
Yeah, that's kind of what I did this summer with the champs one. Just to go and kind of support my friends and and I took a little bit of glass. I got to sell some glass, which is a bonus.
Yeah.
So it's nice when you're not devoted to, and you can just like hang out and talk with people and stuff. So that's fun. But I still like to do the trade shows. I took a big break after having a baby again from doing traveling for glass or that. So now I'm back in it, and I'll be at Glass Vegas this next year.
Right on. Well, I'll see you down there at the February show, I think it is.
Yeah.
They're having it, so
Yeah.
should be a good time.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And then do you consume cannabis yourself, or
I do.
do you prefer flower concentrates or edibles or the
I'm
whole
a
plant?
flower girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll dab once in a while. I definitely used to go through, phases of just dabbing all the time and then flowers, but I've been pretty strictly flowers these days.
Yeah, I agree. It's a full spectrum type thing, and
Yeah.
it's just nice.
Yeah.
Do you have any hobbies outside of glass? I guess a family, it sounds like, is a big whole nother job.
Yeah, my son is a big job. He's only 4 right now. And so is my older son. He's 22. So he still needs mom stuff. But so that definitely takes up a lot of my time. I like to go like mushroom hunting a lot, and go hiking is like a lot of thing, get exercise and do that stuff. And I'll get crafty with other kinds of crafts here and there, so.
Do you pick your
Yeah.
own mushrooms that you put inside of those pendants then?
Sometimes I have to buy those other ones because they're
Are they the real mushrooms then?
they're the magic mushrooms.
They're the real deal. Okay. So even more special on those that they're the real deal.
Yeah, they're the real deal. It's all different kinds of strains. We have here in Oregon, they've decriminalized it, and they're making headways with PTSD and depression with using psilocybin therapy.
Yeah.
So I think it's really fabulous. It shouldn't be illegal. It's such a beautiful gift that we have on this planet. And I fully support it. So I like making these pendants, and it's legal. Like, it's trapped in there. You're never going to get it out. So that's one of the main questions people ask is, how do you send that in the mail? And I'm like, well, it's art. It's art at this point. You can't get the thing out. You're going to destroy the
Why would you? Yeah, it's not worth it.
A $2 little mushroom, but it's just really, in support and standing for better medicines in our world. So.
Yeah, I've heard the microdosing of them is a really big thing for the PTSD and
it is
and
depression.
Like that.
Yeah, no, it's really fantastic. I mean, it's not everything is for everyone, but you don't get high. It's not you're taking such a minute little bit of it that you're not like gonna get all trippy. So it's really just stabilizing your emotions and yourself, and brightening your world a little more, because they do make you happy. Mushrooms make you happy generally.
And it's so crazy because mushrooms, fungi, the most dominant thing most on this planet, and we rarely know about them, yet we have to be such interconnected with them because we've evolved with them since our beginning of evolution.
Right. No, it's you're very right about that. And I think people are finally understanding the uses of them. I mean, people have been using them for a very long time, so before things were like illegal and stuff.
Right. Do you see those? Do you see shrooms becoming maybe one day more like federally legal, kind of where cannabis is going, and even cannabis isn't fully legal yet, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know how I see it. I hope I don't see it become legal in the way that the pharmaceutical companies are just going to pump out synthetic, because they have already started doing this. They make a synthetic psilocybin, and they want to medicate people that way instead of through a natural, the mushroom itself.
right.
I don't know. I think our government is scared to let people be happy and free. So I think it is going to take a long time to see anything like that happen with mushrooms. But I would like to see them be just decriminalized and people not get in trouble for them.
Absolutely.
And then they can just grow them. They can grow them at home and regiment their own lives.
And
you know.
it could be like the shroom probably, I'm sure, isn't just psilocybin, but each one is, like you said, different strains, and it would be like cannabis where
Yeah.
it's different for everybody. And so like it's not just the psilocybin where THC is, it's the whole shroom, the whole fungus that is good for you rather than just THC or just Marinol.
Um, no, I mean, this is the same with the weed plant. The whole plant is like, that's why Rick Simpson's oil is really good, because it is whole plant extraction. Where mushrooms, you get the, you know, the psilocybin, and then you got like psilocybes. So there's like, and then cyanescence. So there's like different types, I guess. And I think this is where they're like trying to make more studies of, you know, which types of mushrooms are going to be more beneficial to certain people's mental health issues or whatever issues they may have, you know. So I hope
just crazy stuff.
More research. Yeah.
And,
it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's neat. What can we look forward to in the future from you?
Well, I don't, right now, I'm just making a lot of more of these pendants. I love making the high heel shoes, but it's such a small niche market, you know, in the big bad boy club world. And the boys do buy my high heels, but it's not like a tennis shoe. So, you know, I would like to make more sculpturative work. It's just, it's hard to devote a lot of time into doing those projects when I don't have somebody buying those things from me. I just don't have the time. That's the most of everybody's issues with making bigger pieces like that. If you know, because it takes a lot of time, and you know, you're like, I'm not going to sit on this thing for a year. Right. So that's kind of hard to, you know, be free to do those things. But I don't know. I like to just start making newer things and newer ideas. Not quite sure yet.
Well, we'll keep paying attention, because I mean, the work you're doing is out of this world. So I imagine the next thing you dilly-dally in will just blow up. So
Thanks.
do you still find you have the same passion and inspiration today as when you first started 30 years ago? Or yeah.
I mean, yes. It's definitely been hard having a child again at my age.
I can't even imagine
doing that. So that's definitely been a hindrance on my glass career. But I mean, it's not a big deal, because I do enjoy my child thoroughly. And I've been having so much fun. But I don't know. I definitely don't have as much gusto as I did when I was younger. You know, I think back then it was a lot of, you know, dudes and like girls can't blow glass, and it was just a lot of that. So I had a lot of angst to like prove these dudes wrong, and now
you did it.
And now I don't care. I'm just like, whatever. You know.
You're a little more relaxed and
yeah. It's just, you know, that's why I'm not trying to compete with anybody. I'm just, you know, being happy and making what makes me happy, and hopefully it makes other people happy and can support me and pay my bills and stuff. So
yeah.
You know, so that's fun.
Hell yeah. Is there anything that I missed or you want to add?
I don't know. I think that was pretty thorough.
Well, Dellene, that was freaking amazing. It was an honor to have this moment in time with you. It was just pure pleasure, and
Thanks.
it was great.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah. Well, you have a most wonderful day, and we'll
All
see you
right.
later.
You too. Cool. Bye.
Bye. Don't hang up.
Okay.
All right. I want to say thank you again. Thank you so much. Just for taking this time. I always I want to say I'm going to send you a little thing if you'd like. Fill it out, a form, and I'm working on this butter color. It's just some color. I'd like to send it to you. You can play with it. You can use it. You don't even have to mention me or nothing. What it is just I always like to be honest. It's just Chinese tubing, like you said. It's pretty fucking nice stuff. And then I take American color and stripe it to get the striations, or I think that's the wrong word. I can't say it right. Yeah, I can't fucking say it.
I know.
You know what I'm saying, though.
I do.
And then I sleeve it in 50 by 5, so it works like clear. I haven't had any problems with it cracking or breaking other than like normal glass, but I'd love to send some out to you. As well as, since you said you do smoke flower, I'd like to send you this thing out. It's my Silver Surfer. That's how I got into this 17.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I'd like to send you one of them. You can try it. You can use it. I'll ship it to you for free. And if you ever like to get one, just let me know and I work it out on some trade or something like that. And then if you don't like it, just ship it back to me anyways, and I'll pay for the shipping both ways because I don't want to inconvenience you. But that's
Cool.
kind of what I do and everything. So
Right on. Is it like a vaporizer?
That's what it is. It's
Oh,
it's a vape. I've been making them for 17 years. Willie Nelson's bought 36. You got an aroma top so you can leave it on 24/7. And that's what these are. I've been doing a thing. We're doing an event called Stage 2 where we're making aroma tops for it and shit like that. And
oh, I see.
yeah, and yeah, but I'd like to send you one of them. And
So, what is aroma top? Can you put essential oils in it? Or?
yeah, you put essential oils in it and you just leave it on 24/7.
Oh, that's cool.
Right here is like the wand style. It's a wand style vape. So you can hook it up to any rig as well. So our Stage 3 people will be making a rig and making the art for it. And if you want to be a part of that and I send it out to you, you can still be a part of that too. I've loved that. I think I did hit you up, but people are full and I hit up 1,000 people and whatnot.
Oh yeah. I know. I only work 2 weeks out of the month too, so it's hard to juggle all that.
No,
when I get back in there, I'm like, what am I making again? So it's okay.
Man, well, it was such an honor to get to hang out with such an OG gangster glass blower. Like it just is super freaking awesome. And I can't wait till one day to meet you in person because that's how it has to be.
Right on. One day I'll write a book about all the nasty stories.
Well, I know it seems like the rabbit holes could have just went so far and just like.
Oh my God, you don't even know. Some of these dudes, man, they can be dicks.
Well, it's the glass blower world too, and I know a lot of them are dicks. And then, like you said, you're there competing, and Milo, he fucking cries and whines and breaks the shit because a girl beat him, and it's like, fucking punk.
Yeah, I had dreadlocks too back then, so it's like dreadlock, hippie, weed smoking, pipe maker girl.
I love that. Like, I'm all for the underdog. I know I'm a guy, but I'll root for whoever's the underdog, and I fucking love it, man. I love it when guys get fucking turned up by females and shit. So
yeah. It's fun.
It is.
It's definitely fun, but now it's cool because there's just so many people and the information is out there, so it's like, everybody's getting really good. There's a ton of really good girls making glass, and it's really awesome.
Well, and
Really
for this
cool.
whole thing that I did for my art thing, it's the girls that are fucking hitting it out of the park.
Yeah,
Like,
awesome.
the girls do it every time. And I think it goes back to y'all have something to prove. And you're just like, fuck you bitches. I'm going to fucking wipe you guys
Yeah.
out and
Yeah,
improve you.
possibly. It's definitely, it's rough for any field that's, you know, man dominated
Mhm.
for women, you know, so they definitely want to have that, you know, angst to, you know, really do better. So
And men don't have to have the same problems, or not problems, but
I mean, they do. I mean, competition out there is pretty steep, I guess, but
well, I mean, like they don't have the same and it's I can't find the right word to say a holdback, because a man's not going to have a kid. So while a woman has a kid, now all of a sudden her life, and some men like my dad didn't, but you know, the woman has to all of a sudden raise the kid and do the job. And so that's a whole nother responsibility that most men don't
Yeah.
even see. And so
yeah, I've been doing that my whole life.
yeah, and my hat's off to you, because it's hard to raise children. It's fucking hard.
Yeah.
And thanks for bringing more people into this planet.
Yeah, more wise, open-minded, intelligent people. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's the deal. We need more warriors,
we do.
positive warriors.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, hell yeah, this was freaking awesome. Thank you, Dellene. I really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
I'll be hitting you up in the DM, and hopefully I
Okay,
can share this stuff with you.
awesome.
Man, that was so cool. Like, I knew Dellene was OG in this. I did not realize how OG Dellene was. Wow, like such an honor to sit here with such an OG glassblower. Holy mackerels, super cool. Make sure you go check her out. Really quickly, we need your help. If you made it this far, you're sticking around, and I want to say thank you so much. And please join our Elev8 Ambassador Program. Elev8 Gents and Elev8 Dolls is a really cool way to help us build our brand, and you get to earn credits and all kinds of cool stuff. Also, make sure you check out Elev8 Veterans. It's a really cool 501c3 nonprofit that we have. We get veterans some cool glassblowing classes. Really helps to you know, train the mind how to just like forget about some stuff maybe, or refocus it, actually more is the words. And we also help them with some alternative therapies. Anyways, thank you so much for joining us. Subscribe, please, and share with your friends. And thank you all. Elevate mind, body, spirit.